Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Caesar the Pleaser. I found myself staring at her longer than I should, so I should go back to text lying on the table in front of me. I feel like I'm just staring at words rather than actually reading. I get the feeling that I'm not going to notice this as well, so I sigh and close the book. What's up? I was just wondering what you were reading. She looks a little downcast after my reaction, saying her giving up on the prospect of getting any more work done. I get up and return the book back to its place that's nearby a shelf. She looks a little downcast after my reaction, seeing her giving up on the prospect of getting any more work done. I get up and return the book to its place on a nearby shelf. Just an English textbook. Has it helped? Yeah, I realize that I don't like English, yeah? Hanako gives a small giggle. I may muse on the strange state of our friendship, but I don't know that such little gestures are things that I wouldn't see were I not at least some distance closer to her than when we first met. I look at her for a moment, thinking about what I do and I don't know about her. It's a slightly depressing topic. Is something wrong? If I want to know more about her, maybe I should stop being so evasive about it. Talking with Lily as an equal rather than being constantly in fear of causing her to become upset or defiant, so I should just try to be straightforward and approach Hanako as well. Hey Hanako, do you mind if I ask you a question? I don't mind. I want to know what your life was like. Your life before coming to Yamako. She hesitates. I briefly consider backing up, but she seems to be taking the question quite serious. I sit and watch her, silently letting her take her time. She's not making eye contact with me, and it looks almost as if she's arguing with herself, letting herself open up to me more. Her answer finally comes in a stiff, almost reluctant nod. She looks far more tense than she did before I asked. Okay, but in return, you have to tell me about your life as well. I nod. I follow her as she begins to walk out the library so we can talk. By now, most of the students have already left the main building, so apart from the few people that are hovering around the club rooms, the hallways are generally empty. I guess we'll start with coming to Yamako. Let's see. I was in a hospital when my parents first told me about the Yamako Academy. Doctors told me I shouldn't go to my old school anymore. My parents agreed and persuaded me to apply for Yamako, even though it would mean living away from them for the first time. It must have been hard for you. Well, yeah, I have to admit that it was. My parents both worked long hours and full time, so having to live reasonably independently wasn't anything new to me. It was the fact that I was going to a school for disabled students that hit the hardest, I think. And you? A small group of chatting girls passes us as we near the stairs, with Hanako pressing herself tightly to my side until we reach the ground floor. She doesn't usually come this close while just walking to school, so I'm left a little put off. The staff at the orphanage offered me some options on what I could do. Middle school had been so good, so I thought that Yamako might be better. So it was isolated, and I thought it might be easier to get by here with most of the others by being disabled. It's pretty ironic that the reasons Hanako looked forward to Yamako are the exact reasons why I hated the idea. To me, it felt like I was being shunted somewhere away from society and everyone I knew. To Hanako, that was probably an inviting prospect. What was life like at the orphanage? It was okay. The staff there was nice, and they took care of us. The children there didn't talk to me much, but I didn't really want to talk to them either, so I didn't mind. The orphanage had a little library, so I started to read to pass the time. The staff didn't mind it because it made it easier to handle them. Many of the other children. Did you make any friends there? No. I think my life was on hold during that time. I knew that, but I didn't mind. I think her life was to hold on for all that time. Though, depending on what the fire happened, that was a huge chunk of her life. No parents, no friends, apparently no relatives. We walked through the door into the courtyard. I expect to need to revert my eyes from the sun, but by now it's well into sunset. Hanako's eyes keep flicking to me, so I look away from her for a bit. What was it like in the hospital? I quickly clear my thoughts and try to refocus them. I hesitate for a bit, but I know that I have to tell her. We're close enough for her to feel comfortable telling me this, so it's only fair that I reciprocate. It was okay at times, but at others it was pretty bad. At the beginning, everyone sent their sympathies and came to visit often. It was just like breaking an arm or something. Meeting my friends was one of the good times, and Hanako came in as often as well, more often than anyone else. But there were bad times too. My friends slowly stopped visiting. I began to realize how great my situation was. It reminded me that it wasn't just a broken limb, but I was now a different person than before. Even the times when Hanako would spend with me became torturous. By the end, we were reduced to silence, whereas before, she'd be constantly talking. But that's how Hanako always was. She may have not been a fragile person, but she would talk constantly to try to hide the fact. Not about anything in particular, just talk. I think the three lowest points would have been when my parents told me I wouldn't be going to my old school anymore. My birthday passing while in the hospital. I know that feeling. And when Hanako left for the first time. We leave the school buildings behind us as we begin to follow the main path through the gardens. There may have been the odd bystander of the school buildings, but outside, we're practically alone. What was your middle school like? I liked it. I grew up in a real metropolitan area. The middle school was nearby, so it was pretty crowded. I didn't mind it, probably because I'm used to being in crowds and around lots of people. I got good marks, and I played soccer with my friends. I spent a fair bit of my time hanging out with them after school as well. Did get teased a bit over my hair though. Your hair? I grimaced as I put a hand on my head to cover it. I keep getting tufts and strands that refuse to flatten or stay where I wanted them. My mother wouldn't let me just get my hair shaved. It had a habit of popping out no matter how much I tried to brush it down. It still does a little. I was worried I'd get that reply. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I give a mild laugh and wave it off. It's fine. I know it still does. It feels strange to have someone act so interested in my past. If it weren't anyone else, I think that they would just be acting polite. But that's something that I really don't think Hanako would do. Or if she did, she'd do it so badly that it would be obvious. There are a number of girls in the common room on the ground floor, and Hanako presses herself on my side once more as we pass them. I expected her to break off, but instead she continues to cling on to me as we walk towards the stairway. Something about the way she's holding onto me feels different than usual. Wait a minute, wait. They're in the girls' dormitory. Huh.